What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another fun one here for the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. My name is Andrew Valentin. I hope you're all having another fantastic Friday. It has been a day here, folks. Let me tell you. People locking themselves out of houses. Some people forgetting what show they're on at times. Some people making outrageous claims on other shows as well. You know, it's all the good works here, ladies and gents. But again, I hope everybody's having a great one because we're coming to you live here from the Illinois Media School in O'Hare campus. Again, wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you're being able to watch us here from the YouTube or the Twitch. That's youtube.com/xbombsports and twitch.tv/xbombsports as well. If you guys want to follow us on any more of our social media as well, too, you can find us at xbombsports on everything. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, aka X, and of course TikTok as well. By the way, Fright Fest boy owes me some clips from the last show. He still has not sent me, so I'm gonna have to talk to him about that one when he gets back from being on the spooky roller coasters or whatever he's doing over there. And of course, too, any questions or comments or things like that, you can just hit us up with the email. That's xbsportsofficial@gmail.com. We love having you guys on there as well, too. It's always appreciative. And of course, we're going to answer some of your questions here as well pertaining to the NFL. Some stuff as well for the MLB, because I know you guys have been asking about Major League Baseball with the playoffs coming up. We got 3 games left to make some big choices and some big decisions on who's in and who's out for these final spots. So we'll be talking about that. And of course, I'm joined by my guy, Scotty Kiefer. Scotty, how you doing, man?
Hi, Andrew. You also got to yell at Frankie again because he logged you out.
Yes,
of the
yeah.
Sports account.
Frankie logged us out as we were just about to go live, and I get told this by Scotty as I'm helping other students to set up for their show, which I then come to find out, like, oh, by the way, equipment in there needs to be fixed. So it's just been a fantastic Friday, obviously, of course.
Shout out Frankie.
Yeah, shout out Frankie. Boy, really, I can feel that tumor that used to be my guy Tom McKinney coming back in the form of Frankie. Our guy Brandon Januska is here too as well, ladies and gentlemen. An old school blast from the past as well. Always good to see you, Brandon. Glad to have you back, man. And hopefully to talk more sports as well. I can't wait for it. I'm intrigued and excited. But, Scotty, are you ready to do this, my man? We got to work on your answers. We really do. We got to get you speech therapy or something. All right, let's do this. So, we're going to kick this one off with, I know we've been talking about it for a lot, but it is going to have to be for the Bears, and it pertains to the fact that they won a game. Yeah, the Bears won a game. I know. After what has been a tumultuous 2 weeks, certainly, with a very winnable game to start the season and what became a runaway blowout in the second game of the season against the Lions, they are able to get a very solid victory against the Dallas Cowboys at home, 31-14, which obviously is a nice boost of confidence, especially when you add on to it that star quarterback, Caleb Williams. Yeah, I'm saying star quarterback now, Caleb Williams, because he threw for 4 touchdowns in this, folks, and they were pretty ones. They were pretty looking. So I guess to kind of start things off, you know, the positives of this game, right? One, they get the win, right? Ben Johnson gets his first win. Caleb Williams gets his first win in this new regime, this new era, if you will, right? On a great performance as well. You see the expansion of players like Colston Loveland, and obviously Luther Burden has an incredible catch of an amazing flea flicker, right? You're seeing the rhythm of the offense. You're seeing the expansion of the passing game. That's something that the Bears have never had, right? Rookies are getting involved. Roma Dunze is, I think, solidifying his position more and more as the top receiver in this offense, which makes sense, right? You came in with Caleb. You have the chemistry with Caleb. Hopefully you can develop it maybe with DJ Moore more so, but I like what I'm seeing from this team. Olamide, I think, needs to go away. Although he is the best blocking wide receiver since Equanimeous St. Brown. He's not here for it, but David, I know, would love to hear that.
No, Oz needs to stay on the team so he can flip over the players when he goes to celebrate.
That's fair. Hey, he's a decent player. I know he's mostly there for, like, third down slot receiver because he's reliable with the hands and he's a good blocking running back. But Defensively, we should note, too, the positives on that were the pass rush finally kind of came alive. We saw them attacking and getting to Dak Prescott. And even without Jalen Johnson, the DBs played well. They were able to shut down the passing game and even get some turnovers, right? You got Tyreek Stevenson, who forces a fumble, literally just tears it out of his hands for Javonte Williams' hands, and then you've got the 2 interceptions by Tremaine Edmonds. Now, point of note, right, CeeDee Lamb was out with an injury. Should be noted, right? They did not have CeeDee Lamb. Had he been in the game, he's the go-to, take the head off the defense, right, go over the top guy. Probably a little bit of a closer game. I still think the Bears would have won. It's probably instead of a 31-14, probably like 31, maybe 24. It's a little bit closer, right?
We don't have to mention that. We could just relish in the fact that the Bears won,
sure.
okay?
Yes, we don't. I just think it's important to note that stuff. It's important.
We also don't have to mention it because he was my first-round pick in fantasy football, so we definitely don't have to mention
that's
that.
Your fault. That's on you. You made the pick. It also should be noted, too, this defense did not look good at all, right? Clearly no Micah Parsons. They made the trade. But they just looked completely lethargic. Like, they did not look anywhere close to what we've seen with Dallas defense in the past. And that's clearly because, Micah wasn't there. So that has to be noted as well. But positives, of course, going forward for the Bears. Now, should also be noted, too, there were some things that should be taken away as well, right? I don't know why he's not starting, but Noah Sewell needs to be a lock-in at linebacker.
I would say he actually looked more like he got more time this week.
Yes.
So I feel like he's like an in-and-out player. Like, he doesn't have to start, doesn't have to be in every play. Like I said at the beginning of the year, he doesn't seem like an every-down player.
Sure. No.
But they put him in on a lot of packages. So
right. If you're going to go nickel, you can have him be the linebacker you take out with Edmonds and Edwards maybe being the guys that stay in, right? That's fine. But if you're going to go 3 linebackers out there in the 4-3, if that's the base package you go with, he needs to be there. Like, he needs to – every time the ball is in the hands of a receiver or a running back, he's there. Like, he's making a play or he's in the vicinity of it. So it's clear that this guy has that magnet for getting to the ball carrier in one way or another. So I think it's important that Noah Sewell just start to become more of a staple to this linebacking core because, Edmonds had some good plays, but I think he needs to kind of be one of those guys that you can look to and say, we can depend on him to be able to stop the run, be a decent guy for coverage, I think. He's not the best, but a decent guy, right? His pass rush is so-so, but it's clear that this guy can be a playmaker for you, right? The running situation is becoming a very big problem.
They can't run the ball.
They can't. And I put this on Twitter. I put this on a Twitter post along with, like, I was saying, like, Noah Sewell should be a starter. I think they need to start putting the reps towards Monangai.
No, I have a better option.
Okay.
There's a team down south that is absolutely god-awful.
Sure.
They might not win a game.
I've seen the rumors, yeah.
They might not win a game.
Yeah, they may not.
I am actively betting against them every single week.
Okay.
But I will say that there's a 30-year-old running back who, despite the age, is still showing that he is the guy.
Sure.
And I feel like on a one-year, end-of-the-year contract ending at the end of the year, Alvin Kamara is a name that you might want to throw around at the trade deadline to bring him in because he is a game changer. And not only that, the way this Bears offense is running, they like to get their running backs in space for a check down. You know who's really good at that? Alvin Kamara.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think the Saints are definitely terrible. And I don't know what's going to happen with their we're going to get into that whole situation with their quarterback and everything because there's certainly a lot of rumors flying around about that. But Alvin Kamara is not a bad option to potentially be able to pour out there and have be at running back. We've obviously heard that, you have the running back from Miami as well, Akane, that might also be an availability as well to trade for.
Is he in the final year of his contract, though?
No, he's in his second year, I want to say. I think it is. second or third year on the team at this point.
I feel like he's a piece in Miami you keep there.
Well, sure for
build there.
Miami, but I mean, if you make the right offer, they'll let him go.
No, I don't think so. I think he's a piece that you would keep there just
Maybe.
for how much he brings to that team.
I'm just in terms of what they have right now, though. Like, if you're not going to make any moves, let's say, right? They don't make a move for a running back. If you're still saying that DeAndre Swift is your number one guy, I think then you have to give carries to Monangai. Or you have to somehow start implementing Roschon Johnson, right?
No, it is crazy how DeAndre Swift could just see an open hole and go the opposite way.
Well, I think
it is hilarious to watch.
Part of his problem, I know there's been a lot of videos and the photos that have shown that. Part of his problem too is he tries to be Mr. Shifty, right? It's the extra move of planting his foot in the ground, where if he was one cut and go, he'd probably get a good solid 6, 7, maybe even break for the first down, maybe even break away for a touchdown. The problem is that even during his time in Georgia, because he was always somewhat kind of like Mr. Quick Feet, there's that extra cut that he tries to make in the backfield that I think he feels like he has to make because it's instinct now, because of his age. But it's unnecessary, and it could help a lot more for the Bears if it was just plant the foot, cut, and go into the hole. Instead, he wants to, like, plant the foot, shake the hips, take one more step, and then try to cut into the hole. Well, by that point, there's an edge rusher or a linebacker that are already in your face.
Yeah, and I think a good point to make also is, you look back at the draft, right? Because they could have traded – it was a big discussion. They could have traded up to get a guy like Ashton Genty. But the thing about that is, though, it doesn't matter if they still would have done it. It's not like the offensive line is not having bad run offense.
Right.
They're not run blocking bad. They're getting him open holes. DeAndre Swift is just not really hitting them.
No, he's not.
And,
His
and
vision's not there.
And also, when he does split and he gets to the second level, there was a run he had where I'm like, it was the screenplay. He gets to the second level. Now, yes, he could have, went west to east on the field and went to the other side of the field to get it. But I'm like, dude, there's all this open space here with no one there. Why are you looking for contact? Go to the open space with no one there. There was like one safety there, but if he directed his blockers or pulled the wide receiver to block, he would have probably gotten, I think, they got to like the 30 on that screenplay. He may have been closer to like the 10.
Yeah.
And it's that little stuff that in the grand scheme of that game don't matter, but at some later game it will. At some later game it will matter that he's just not hitting the right holes and getting the Bears the most yardage he can.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it is becoming a problem now where as a receiver, he does fine, but like you said, even as a receiver, he's still not seeing the field. Maybe it's the vision thing. It's problematic, and it now leads everybody, I'm sure, to be able to say, well, this is why Philadelphia didn't want to keep him. This is why you've got the Lions who eventually say, let's move on from him, right? It makes sense for the Bears to sign him when they did because they didn't have any real running backs that felt like legitimate guys they could put in the backfield. Now you put him back there. He still makes sense in some degree, but obviously as you see him now, you wonder, is he declining right before our eyes? Like it's clear to show that there's a setback in his skill set that now leads you to say, okay, yes, we didn't really go for a running back as priority maybe this year. Next year, it's going to have to be a priority in the first 3 rounds, if anything, because you're going to have a plethora of running backs in next year's draft. And you can find value in the later rounds still, too.
There's a lot of guys out there that I really like this year already.
Absolutely.
And they're already performing.
Absolutely. And you're going to have your pick of the litter. It's just a matter of who else is going to value them at what level, right? Because right now, Genty is kind of looking like I'm not saying he's a bust.
The Genty conversation needs to hold off.
Yeah, he's not a bust.
That team does not know how to block, and they're also starting the wrong players.
This is true too.
That Powers kid should the guy they drafted as a center last year.
Yeah, Jackson Powers Johnson.
He needs to be starting, and he's not.
That blows my mind. That
they're running the wrong personnel there.
Yeah, that blows my mind that he's not starting there.
But I want to mention one more thing about the Bears, and then you can move on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that the Bears completely fix this is why we wait because this team is perfect, but this is an example of why you wait to talk about players because 1 week you're talking like Caleb should be benched for Tyson Bagent. This week he won NFC Player of the Week. Next week, who knows where we're going to be at. This is why you wait when they get a new coach and with young quarterbacks.
No, 100%. Absolutely. Well, listen.
You know what my favorite part was? Colin Cowherd 9 weeks ago was like, I don't think that the Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams marriage is really working. And this week he's like, we need to give young quarterbacks some time. No, you just give them time. I had to tell my grandpa because he's being very negative about the Bears right now. And I said,
listen, a lot of older people are for sure.
And you know what I said? I go, do not talk about Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson concretely until November.
Yes.
You can make comments, little comments like, that was a good week, that was a bad week, he's got to work on this. Don't go, I don't want Caleb Williams or I want Caleb Williams until November. It's going to take time.
No, yeah, listen, this is a process for the Bears, right? I mean, the only other negative thing I'm going to say here for the Bears, the only thing I came away with was it's time to switch the tackles.
See, I know you're right, but, man, they did play pretty good, though.
No, and this is the thing, right? They played pretty good.
But that's a fugaze.
I'm watching, and that's the thing, though. Even still, I'm watching the game, and I'm still watching Braxton Jones as closely as I can. It's the missing, the footwork. It's swiffing on a casual block, and then you catch lucky breaks when he whiffs on a block against an average edge rusher, mind you, and he gets a chance to kind of reassign himself back into the defensive end, into the edge rusher. So you caught a lucky break. That's why it looks so good. You watching his film, I'm going, he's getting an opportunity here to prove himself against an average guy. And I'm still seeing mistakes being made. Minuscule as they were, collectively they were good. Great even.
You know what I'm starting to think? I'm starting to think that they only like Braxton Jones because he's a veteran, quote unquote. He's been with the Bears for a little while now.
Sure.
And he's like, and he probably has a good vision for the field.
Right.
You know, he probably helps Caleb that way. But just blocking wise, you're right. You're 100% right.
My theory kind of plays to that with why they keep him. I think it has to do with Ryan Poles being, and this might stretching it, being a former offensive lineman himself, right? Saying, I know what it looks like to find the underrated, the undervalued player, and thinking that this was a guy that he found that could be special. Because look, when he first started, there were moments where we looked at him and said, hey, he's got some stuff. But the problem is that playing against the average guy, he can go up against the average guy. It's when you go up against Micah Parsons or Nick Bosa, right? Or Khalil Mack, a true blue, I'm going to come after you edge rusher. I'm going to eat your quarterback, right? A Myles Garrett, a TJ Watt. That guy is who you need to block on the blind side. That is why Braxton Jones needs to go. I can't believe Ozzie Trapilo is really going to be – I know he's young and probably a little bit green, but he's at least 6'8". He's at least going to take up space. If anything, he's at least taller and bigger.
If you're going to tell me Ozzie isn't going to be at least a little bit better than Braxton Jones, what are we doing?
Like you said, at least if anything, too, switch him and Darnell Wright when the season's over and see if Darnell Wright can be your left tackle and that kid can be your right. I don't know. Again, I was told that maybe I got this wrong. I was led to believe that Darnell Wright was always a left tackle in college and then switched over to right. I was told that apparently he might have played right. I thought he was too.
I think he was naturally right, but he had to play the left for Tennessee.
Maybe that's the case. Maybe I'm mistaken on that. I might have been.
Or it was the other way. He was naturally left, but had to play the right, and he played the right for so long at Tennessee that he just became a right tackle.
Right.
It's one of those two, I think. He did end up
switching at some point. I don't know if it was high school to college or somewhere in college or maybe going to the pros. I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head. I apologize for that if I got that information wrong. Please let me know in the comments and let me know by emails. You always do. But it can't be worse than what we've seen thus far. Again, they played well in this game. Perhaps Braxton Jones will I just think he's a guard. I think he's a guard that they're playing at tackle, that if you put him at the guard position, I think he could be great as a swing man, a pull guy. He's got some speed. He's got some quickness.
But here's the thing. You're talking about his footwork.
Right.
If you're a guard, you need good footwork.
Exactly. And I know that's the biggest issue, though, is that he constantly makes mistakes with his feet. But I think he could be that guy. Like, if you get the footwork thing down, you put him at guard, you say he's the backup to Joe Thuney, maybe he could be the guard. Maybe he could be. But either way, for the Bears, celebrate the win. It's a good, strong, positive plus side for the team, right? It takes you in the right direction as far as I'm concerned for this team. For this franchise, this is what you want to be the stepping stone. I will say this again. Even if they don't have a winning season, if the offense looks as efficient as they did in this game going forward and they come out with a 4,000-yard passer, I still say moral victories maybe should never count. But take it for what it is.
Well, that's a victory. That's not even a moral
absolutely.
victory,
I would count that beyond a moral victory. It is like, wow, the Bears got a 4,000-yard passer. The Bears have, get this, a quarterback.
Speaking of quarterbacks, there's probably some other quarterbacks we got to talk about.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. But let us know, ladies and gentlemen, obviously, what do you think about the Bears? They've got another, could be a tough one. We'll see. They're playing the Raiders. So we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, look, you guys asked me some questions about the NFL this week because there was a lot that happened in the NFL over this past week. And I'm going to answer some questions that some of you guys were asking. I know a lot of the media has kind of been falling over it and stuff, so we'll kind of condense that into the quick hits of the NFL, if you will. Kind of just give us some flow for instead of being like this game and then this game and this game, okay?
Open discussion.
Yes.
Open discussion.
Open to discussion kind of stuff. So the first question we got, and I'm not going to give specifics necessarily because I got an array of different questions from everybody in different wavelengths about. Everybody asked me a question about their team, essentially. Obviously, I understand. But the first one I've got has to pertain to the Giants, right? And the question basically was asking, what do I think about the Giants starting Jackson Dart over Russell Wilson? What do I think happens to Russell Wilson? And then it was pertaining to, what do you think happens with Jameis Winston with, guess what, a hint of being like, does he go to Cincinnati? Okay. Well, first, I'm going to say this. I think this was an inevitability. And it's not really that I think Russell Wilson is necessarily terrible. I just think that he's getting to a point where maybe the body is not going to be able to hold up the same way it did. The arm strength is not going to be there like it necessarily was. Accuracy might be falling off because maybe he's not as fixed in as he once was before because his life is now kind of being pulled in different directions for a lot of things. And Dart is really kind of being, you got to want to see where this kid's at with his future, right? He seems to have a good arm. He seems to be accurate. He seems to have also a little bit of athleticism to himself as well. And I think in some regard, too, he makes Malik Neighbors happy because there's at least a future he could probably see with a guy like Jackson Dart. Whereas Russell Wilson, I think there is a growing frustration with him and I'm sure the rest of the team. They're like, look, we respect the guy, but he's not getting it done. He's not Russell Wilson of old. He's Russell Wilson. He's old Russell Wilson, right?
Can I be honest, though?
Please.
Like, watching the Giants compared to last year, there's not much of a difference in Russell Wilson I'm really seeing, though.
Sure.
Now,
yeah.
I will agree with you. He's definitely not Russell Wilson of old where he's competing for MVPs and winning Super Bowls.
Right.
But Russell Wilson's playing Russell Wilson right now.
Right.
He's throwing the moon ball. If it's not there, he's going to throw the moon ball. That's what he does. He's going to hit his check down. Like, he's not I think it's more of this is what happens when you draft a rookie quarterback, where there's this stigma around the quarterback that if he doesn't perform quick, they're going to switch to the younger quarterback.
Yeah.
I think that's where you're at with this. Because honestly, I'm not going to say I'm impressed with Russell Wilson, but man, that game against the Cowboys was great.
Absolutely.
It's crazy that he goes from a game against the Cowboys throwing 450 to a game against the Chiefs where you're like, nah, we need to bench him.
Yeah.
It's a little drastic for me. To me, this is a media thing where we look at the rookie quarterback and go, man, this guy who's a veteran in the NFL, probably a big locker room leader. And yes, he has one, obviously he's not playing great, but that stigma around there of there's this rookie quarterback that is, A, completely unproven at the NFL level.
Right.
B, is a raw prospect. The Giants drafted him knowing that he probably will have to sit. I feel like they're throwing him in early, and this is just a stigma we have in the NFL, where we throw these guys in that are that bad quickly when the quarterbacks aren't even playing that bad.
No, yeah, you have a point, Scotty. It does feel like you're throwing him a little bit in the deep end and saying, all right, let's see if he swims. And look, if he does, that's fantastic. If he doesn't, obviously that could be very harmful potentially to his development, his confidence, and possibly to team chemistry, right?
And the team chemistry thing is a big thing, too. You know this is Malik Neighbors' 6th quarterback? He was drafted last year.
Yeah.
This is his 6th quarterback.
Yeah. And he already is like, he's already in that disposition of like, yeah, I'm not having fun.
And he's already like, I get it, it's Malik Neighbors, he is great, but he's already banged up because just any quarterback that comes in just goes, I'm going to chuck it to Malik.
Right.
You know, yes, he's great, but he is not on a level of Jamar Chase where he's that guy yet, I don't think.
No, he can get to that level.
He can.
Though.
He's not there yet.
There. It's definitely there. But yeah, you can't
just yak it up to him and expect him to catch it yet.
Right.
I don't think he's there yet.
He's a heck of a talent.
Yes.
But you're going to get him destroyed if you're going to say throw the jump ball, throw the leap ball, because then that leaves him wide open to get hit by safeties, linebackers, the cornerback, to take his legs out. Like, you expose him suddenly, especially when you're trying to throw the slants over the middle. You're putting him in a lot of danger.
What are you expecting out of Jackson on Sunday against the Chargers to wrap that?
What am I expecting
what
out
are
of
you
him?
expecting him?
I would expect him to probably have somewhere in the neighborhood of almost, I'd go 200 yards passing. I'd say he gets a touchdown. I don't know, be it on the air or the ground, but I think he could get a touchdown. I'm intrigued to see how this looks now, though, too, when you consider that you're now got Scattaboo, who's going to be in the game with him, right? Who's shown to have that, at least right now, I would put his comparison to Rex Burkhead. He could expand if he continues to grow. I'm going to put him at Burkhead now. If he continues to get better, we can start talking about maybe being a McCaffrey type of guy. But that's a long ways away.
That man plays football on crack. Great.
He is a football player. There's no doubt. He is a football player. But I'm intrigued. I think this offense is going to have a little bit more of a spark and a kick to it.
I think it's a weird place to put him in, too.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
He plays against the Chargers?
That's
a weird defense to play against because they're sneakily good.
Yeah, Dante Jackson has been one of the shutdown premier corners right now of the year. He's giving up like less than 30 yards a game right now, passing. Like, no touchdowns either. And by the way, Dante Jackson, if I remember correctly, I believe he's only 5'10", like 185 pounds. Like, that's crazy. I might be wrong on that. I don't know. Maybe he's 6'1", but I believe he's only in that height range. But, yeah, Jackson Dart, I wish him all the best. As far as what happens with the, Russell Wilson could go to the Bengals, sure. The Saints, sure. You'd be giving up like a 6th or a 7th round pick for him, essentially, right?
They should trade Jameis, though. Because the thing is, I think at some point you might see Russell Wilson back.
Sure.
I think they should trade Jameis.
Yeah.
I think your Bengals are probably, we talked about it. We don't really have to go deep into it because we kind of talked about it last week.
Right.
Jameis is probably the best option because Jake Brown didn't really play that well.
Right.
Although that was a career day for the Vikings defense.
Yes,
and
it
exactly
was.
why I said, hey, Caleb playing very bad against the Vikings defense isn't a huge tell of the season because that Vikings defense is fantastic.
Yeah, Brian Flores is, by the way, coaching himself into a head coaching job here very soon.
Again.
Yeah, again, yes.
Again. But no, I think that just it's a weird week to have Jackson Dart go in.
Yeah.
And, Jameis Winston could – I think, honestly, he should have stayed in New Orleans because I think he would have been better than Rattler.
He could go back to the Saints.
They're not going to look for a quarterback. They're tanking.
That's the thing.
They're going to be
like,
0-4 at the end of the
The
week.
idea of them bringing in a quarterback, it's not going to be like – I don't think it's impossible, but I do think that they're going to just stick with Rattler, be as bad as they can be.
If anything, they should just throw Shuck out there.
Yeah, just see what you got.
See what you got.
See what you got because, look, I don't know if you know this, but a certain quarterback's dad happens to be the offensive coordinator for the Saints.
Really?
Yes. His name is Nussmeier. I had to look that up, and I was like, no. And I was like, no, this is why. This makes sense why the Saints keep taking Nussmeier.
That's why everyone's saying the Saints are taking Nussmeier.
Of course.
Even if they get the number one
And look,
pick.
I'm not saying it's actually a bad go because it's a decent fit. And we'll talk about that more when the draft comes. By the way, the draft shakeup for quarterback, the top quarterback being taken, everyone keeps telling me Drew Aller. I think it's the guy that's going to be playing against Aller here this week that could be playing himself
Dude,
into
Aller is so depressing me. We will get to it later.
We will get to that. I'm glad David.
What other
Although
questions?
David agrees that the dude needs to step
This
it
is
up.
we'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
Other questions
we got a lot to go on.
What other
that.
questions we got, Andrew?
So another question. Speaking of quarterbacks that maybe should have been waiting and sitting, this came from one of our other guys too, talking about the Minnesota Vikings, asking if whether or not the Minnesota Vikings should continue to go forward with Carson Wentz as their starter to allow J.J. McCarthy to kind of sit the season and maybe take a little bit of extra time to get his feet underneath him. I thought that was an interesting question because
it's interesting, but
you watch the game, he's still not a bad he's in that same level with Jameis Winston and other backups that I think can play well at times. You know he will eventually shoot himself in the foot, but you know that you could probably get more positives than negatives out of him all the same. But sorry, Scotty.
You know what, though?
Yeah.
You could say the same for Marcus Mariota.
Sure.
But
no,
you're
yeah,
not gonna,
absolutely.
But to be honest, I don't think Marcus Mariota fits into any other team right now.
No.
I don't think he should go to any team. He is a great backup quarterback to have.
Other than like Baltimore or, dare I say, probably going to Oakland to pair him up, or Vegas to pair him up with his old head coach, that would be the only other
You're
thing.
going to start him over Geno?
No, not to start over
That's
Geno.
my point.
At least, if anything,
That's
to
my
be the
point.
backup.
Other than the Saints, and the Saints
Sure.
aren't picking a quarterback right now,
Yes.
there's no real team where he goes to. You know what the NFL needs? Great backup quarterbacks.
True. Very true.
Bajan is not going to get a starting job probably anywhere else, but he's going to be a great backup somewhere.
Sure.
This is what the NFL needs. They need great backup quarterbacks. And if a guy like Carson Wentz, Joe Flacco, yes, is getting a starting gig, but that's not panning out really well right now.
Well, and I've got a question from the Browns that's going to come here very soon.
But he's not a great starting quarterback
Correct.
right now. The NFL needs great backups for when the starters go down. There's a market for Carson Wentz.
Yes.
It's to be a great backup quarterback to a star quarterback like a Joe Burrow when he goes down. Although I do think the Bengals have a guy in Jake Browning. I think just bad defense to go up against. You know,
Yes, I
Lamar
agree with that.
Jackson, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Hurts. You get Herbert, Baker. You get these guys that are great, solid quarterbacks, but they have a good backup to where if they go down,
Yeah.
the play style and the play level is not as far down as it would be going from Russell Wilson to Jackson Dart. It's a little different.
Right.
It's a different kind of step down where they could still run the offense. It may not look crisp, because I will tell you this, that Carson Wentz game, not a great game to look at him and go, hey, he should be the starter for Minnesota. He was playing the Bengals defense.
Right. No, exactly.
And the defense for the Vikings put up 14 points.
Yes.
Not a great look. Marcus Mariota was going against the Raiders.
Right.
You know, they can knock both of them out at the same time. It's just small sample size, but they need to fill their role, and right now they're currently fitting their role. If you give them a higher one, they won't be any better.
Yeah, no, you're Scotty. Once again, you're on point, man. It really does. I think say in this case and situation for Carson Wentz, you have a guy who can kind of step in and, dare I say, he has to play the role that once he was passed over for in Philadelphia, right? He is now like a Nick Foles to where he was taken over by Nick Foles. I've become the monster that I once had to share a room with, kind of thing. It's a very odd situation, but it works. And he works for the Vikings, too, because it's a good setup, it's a good offense, and he's got a head coach who is committed to, like, yeah, we're going to – because that was the thing. In Philadelphia, he had a coach who was like, we're committed to you, we're going to help you grow, we're going to help you learn. He just kind of stalled out, I think, because of – mental blockages and all kinds of other stuff that got in the way, along with Philadelphia's own kind of, where are we at with this whole thing? Like, that was their problem, essentially, I think, at the hold of it. But this is a perfect situation for him. Whether or not J.J. McCarthy can use the time off as a chance to possibly kind of fix whatever problems he may have to bounce back, that's going to be on Kevin O'Connell and J.J. McCarthy.
And you know what, though? You don't want to see JJ sit anymore. He sat all of last season.
Exactly.
Why do you want to see him sit more?
Right.
Maybe there's a problem with JJ McCarthy then if you really want to see him sit more. That's crazy to me.
If he were to sit for another year after being the 11th pick of the draft, if I'm not mistaken, right? With the 10th. Okay, so he was a top 10 pick. So a top 10 pick at quarterback, you can make the argument, if he's not top 5, if he's going 6 through 10, you can make the argument, okay, he sits for a year. But after a year, you want to see him be the starter.
Yes. And if you want to see him sit, maybe you got a problem there.
If you want to see him sit, he should have gone then in the second, third round, so on and so forth.
And also, Kevin O'Connell's just a great quarterback coach. He's proving it every single week that he's just a great coach for quarterbacks.
Absolutely. Dude, it's crazy to, like I said to people, it's crazy to think that you could go right now on YouTube, watch Hard Knocks' 2010 Jets, and see where Kevin O'Connell gets cut by the Jets as the fourth-string quarterback because they wanted to keep Kellen Clemens and Mark Brunell, right?
Although I think he's actually coaching better than he would be a
No.
player,
And that's what I'm saying is,
yeah.
like, you look at those two guys and you would think Clemens is a smart guy. He knows his quarterback stuff. Mark Brunell is an intelligent quarterbacks guy. It's incredible to think that the fourth stringer that they cut, that they probably could have put on their coaching staff at some point, is a guy that is arguably maybe one of the top 5 coaches right now in the NFL.
I was going to ask you real quick, can you put him in the top 5?
I would.
I can.
I would. I don't know how. I wouldn't put him 1, obviously.
I think he's 5.
But yeah, I would put him.
There.
I would put him in the 5. Absolutely, I would put him in until he proves otherwise.
Until he proves playoff-wise.
Right. Well, yeah, that's the big thing.
Well,
I mean, and also too, Brian Flores is an X factor in this as well. Like when Brian Flores inevitably, I think, gets a head coaching job, we're gonna see how good of a factor he plays as a head coach too.
What other quick hitters you got?
So yeah, I mentioned Cleveland because I wanted to bring this up. So I'm sure you're aware, as many are. The Browns obviously beat the Packers.
What?
But there's a lot of people that were chanting for Shedeur Sanders to make the entrance into the game. Now, interestingly enough, Shedeur Sanders' father, I don't know how many people know this, is a famous Hall of Fame quarterback by the name of Deion Sanders.
Is he really?
Yeah, he is. Who went on a podcast and actually had a statement to make about his son, who apparently we now know in said statement said that he had calls from the Eagles and Ravens X amount of days before the draft to join their team, and apparently had said, I was not interested because he said he was not interested in sitting behind Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts. To which then Deion Sanders said, I don't know anybody who's ever learned anything from sitting. I never learned from sitting up behind anybody.
Oh, this is exactly what I was talking about with Caleb Williams. This is exactly what I was talking about.
Yes.
And the exact same we were talking about with J.J. McCarthy.
Yes.
And the same thing we were talking about with Jackson Dart. We need to start letting quarterbacks sit so they can learn.
Yes.
The most important position on the field, and you want to throw them to the wolves.
You know who, you know, it's interesting, Scotty. There's a long list of guys that have sat and learned in NFL history that have actually been both first-round picks and later-round draft picks. You know, there's a long list of those guys.
Hey, was Brett Favre a starter for the Falcons? Was Tom Brady a starter for the Patriots before he got in?
I was going to say, you know who have been backups have been Brett Favre. You know who was a backup to Brett Favre? Matt Hasselbeck, Mark Brunell. We can go to Kurt Warner as well. Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady was a backup behind Drew Bledsoe.
I got a statement to make about Love later. Hey, Phillip Rivers sat behind Drew Brees and ended up being the best quarterback in Chargers history.
Yeah, absolutely. You also have, by the way, too, a quarterback in San Francisco who was a third-round draft pick in '79, and he ended up becoming arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Joe Montana, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
He sat behind Steve DeBerg.
And who
the
sat
first
behind
Tyrod
Joe
Taylor.
Montana, too?
Oh, was it Steve Young?
Yeah.
He made the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
If I'm not he did. So what the hell are you talking about?
What are we
doing?
Get this. It's like I hate this that we have the stigma that rookie quarterbacks need to play unless you are a generational talent, which I'm going to say this. Cam Ward is not a generational talent in my eyes. He should have sat behind someone.
Yes.
Because that pick 6 he threw to the Colts was an awful that I felt like my sister could have made that read and not thrown it to him.
Yes. Although I will say this for Cam Ward. He's made some throws that I think have shown if you get the talent around him, the kid could be phenomenal.
Yes,
I would
agree.
He's a true blue pro,
I would agree.
First and foremost. It's just the Titans suck.
Because you want to know what's better? You want to know what's better? Having a rookie quarterback sit behind another quarterback for a whole year.
Yes.
And even if you tank the year.
Yeah.
That means you get a top draft pick in the
True.
next draft.
Very true.
You get a free year to expand your roster.
Yeah. It's very...
Look at what's happening in Atlanta. Michael Penix is slamming his Penix in the car door.
You almost said it. I mean, listen, it's very rare you get a quarterback that goes #1 overall that is in the realm of a Peyton Manning or a Joe Burrow or any of these guys that have been #1s, right? It's very rare, right? Jameis Winston going #1 overall, argument can be made. Had a Ryan Fitzpatrick been there sooner, he probably would have been better, right? Or maybe if he would have waited another year, he probably would have been better too, right? There's a long list of guys that we can look at and say as first-round picks or any draft pick, they probably could have been better had they not been rushed in. But the problem is that these guys come in so prepared now more than ever. With Shedeur Sanders, by the way, being one of those guys that went to quarterback camps, he went to these elite camps and all that stuff. So the preparation is there. So the expectation is now raised. The problem is, though, is that clearly between the time of high school through his path into college and now into the pros, there is a learning curve that is not taking place. Regardless of who his father is as a pro, it's the difference between being told how to be a pro quarterback and actually being a pro quarterback that seems to be the reason why he's not starting in Cleveland and is instead taking part-time snaps for scout team with Bailey Zappi.
Actually, no, he's not even taking snaps in the scout team.
Well, no, now he is. I know before he wasn't. Okay. Now he is, apparently.
But no, and you know what else I'll say? Maybe the fact that reading a college defense where you play against slack Division II teams where none of the kids are actually going to the NFL are a lot different to read than an NFL pro defense where literally every other position will tell you that the NFL is faster, more heavy hitting. It's a different game, and it takes other positions time to develop.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this with quarterbacks?
Right.
Why can't we learn from this and let guys sit from behind?
It takes extreme special, right, to be that first-round pick, or, again, any pick that can step in there, right? I mean, remember this. Russell Wilson came in as a rookie third-round draft pick out of Wisconsin, right? Undersized, underrated, all of that stuff. Everyone said Matt Flynn is the guy. Well, eventually you go, okay, actually Russell Wilson's the guy. Now, he is one of those guys, though. Remember, he took a year off to go play baseball, came back. He's got veteran mindset, veteran leadership. He comes in a different way. It takes special. It takes special. Herbert, Burrow, Manning, Tom Brady is the ultimate, right? Even Brock Purdy to a degree. As much as we may kind of give him some slack, it takes a lot for him to still go out there and play sometimes as well as he does.
It takes a lot to bring a team to a Super Bowl as a Mr.
Period.
Quarterback. Period. Doesn't matter what you think about Brock Purdy, and I'm not even a big Brock Purdy guy, but the fact that he got a team to a Super Bowl as Mr. Irrelevant is crazy.
Yeah. And
what did he do? He sat behind Jimmy Garoppolo, and he also sat behind another quarterback.
Exactly. And I mean, again, X factors do take place, right? Coaches, players, all that kind. We understand that. We all understand that. But to make this statement from Deion Sanders perhaps is just it's baffling considering the fact that I understand for him. He plays a position that I will not discredit. Is certainly difficult to play. But he was a naturally gifted athlete playing a position where that natural athleticism balances itself out very well. Combined with his intelligence for defense, made him the ultimate factor in any game and arguably the greatest covered corner in the history of the game. But he was the number 5 overall pick. He was going to play regardless. He went to Atlanta, who had nothing.
But here's the other thing I want to mention. The difference is Deion's playing corner.
Right.
Corners get thrown on what? 20% of the game? He's involved with 20% of the game.
Give or take.
A quarterback gets the ball in his hands every single play.
Correct.
Every single play. It's a lot different than a safety or a linebacker or a wide receiver or even an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
It's in his hands every single play. Give him time. Give him time to develop.
Yeah.
Because he's involved every play. And we let pitchers in the MLB develop because they get the ball. They're literally every single play.
Yeah.
Look, goalies in the NHL, they sit behind for a little bit, play in the AHL for a long time, or sit as a backup to develop. Why? Because they're literally playing every game. They get shot on 25 times a game.
Right.
We let them sit. Do it with quarterbacks. Let them develop. Let them sit because they do control every single play of the game.
If you're trusting that this is your guy, then you should put the investment in it. You should put the investment in. Now, I wouldn't go as far as like Jeff Fisher did when he pushed Jared Goff all the way to third stringer as the number 1 overall pick.
That's crazy.
That was
nuts.
That was old man Fisher thinking like I'm smarter than everybody. No, you put him behind Sean Mannion and Case Keenum. Okay,
yeah, that was nuts. That's a confidence issue.
Yeah,
a backup
that's a problem.
Is fine. A backup is fine. Third string, that's a confidence issue.
He's not better than Sean Mannion. What the hell's wrong with you? I just had to put that out there because that was just crazy talk. But it is important. I understand what you're saying, and really he didn't even ask a question. He just kind of went on a rant. The question I got, just like how crazy Deion sounds saying that. And look, I do think Shador can play in the NFL. I don't know if he can be elite. Do I think he can start for the Browns? Possibly. But if clearly Kevin Stefanski doesn't have the trust in him right now, I trust Kevin Stefanski because he's the first Cleveland Browns coach to take the Browns to two playoff runs and an AFC championship.
I'm going to say this.
That hasn't happened since before they were the original Browns.
I'm going to say this. I think Kevin Stefanski is probably the most underrated coach in the NFL.
Oh, if he gets fired, he's getting another coaching job ASAP.
He is not a head coach that goes straight down to being a coordinator if he gets fired. He just gets another head coaching job because he is that good. Yes. Look at that defense. I know he's an offensive guy, but look at the defense that he does put on.
Seriously, his coaching staff is incredible.
They make me think that my opinion on Jordan Love is correct.
It's unreal with this one, really. And look, it doesn't. I'm not trying to hate on Dion. It doesn't make me hate Dion.
No.
It just makes me question. It makes me question kind of like where his mindset's at in terms of how he views his son, because it is his son, right? Your dad looking at it and from that perspective. And this is not Deion Sanders, the NFL player. This is Deion Sanders' father.
This is. I also think it's a little bit of Deion Sanders, the brand.
Yes, that is another one too. The image counselor, however you want to put it, right? They're like, hey man, we got to get Shador into the game. Like, no, it's okay. Let him learn. And maybe guess what? Maybe it's not going to end well in Cleveland. He gets to move on. Maybe he moves on to a place where he can learn.
Yo, you know what's crazy? Maybe he moves on to a team like, let's see, Minnesota, where, Carson Wentz has been a backup there, backup a long time. He gets a start, and now someone emails you saying maybe he should be starting. Hey, just a thought.
Or, dare I say this one?
In something like that.
What would happen if he went to Atlanta?
Hey, Brett Favre was sitting behind for a year.
Yeah.
They didn't really see him as a starter, but then he went to Green Bay and ended up being a starter somewhere.
Right.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Maybe that could happen for a guy like Shador.
They still have Kirk
or
Cousins.
Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah. Still have Kirk Cousins. They still have, Michael Penix, who can still probably be something to him.
Or slam his Penix in the car door.
Or there's that too. I mean, if anything, hey, it's a money grab for Atlanta to say, we got a Sanders. It's not Dion, but we got a Sanders.
The vibes. Give him 21.
All right. That's going to do it for the questions here. We got a few more, obviously, we could pour through, but it's mostly you guys just complaining about your teams more than anything. I'm just being honest here. Minus a few ones here and there, I will say, because I will say one real quick one here, too. Don't worry about the Ravens. They're going to be okay. They will be okay. They will be okay. I don't know if they're going to go to the Super Bowl this year, though.
Yo, shout out Lamar Jackson for single-handedly winning my fantasy football league this week. That garbage time touchdown literally made me win by .32.
Nice. There you go.
Thank you, Lamar.
Thank you. And thank you, Derrick Henry, for fumbling the football and costing me a win. So appreciate that. Seriously. And I don't put that on him either. That offensive line, for whatever reason, they got broke down. And obviously the Lions defense, they're good. They're good.
No, can I be honest? Every single fumble he's had this year is literally like quarterbacks, or literally corners or linebackers just finding
you find a way to punch
to poke the ball out.
Yeah.
And he's just running normally. There's nothing wrong with him. It's just these guys, that play by Hutchinson. That's why you draft him second overall, because he does make plays like that.
That is.
You know who does that on a regular? TJ.
I was gonna say that's your TJ Watt. Yeah. That's your JJ Watt. Everyone's been watching videos on the peanut punch. That's all it is. You learn from the master spy agent that he was supposed to get us an interview with. Remember that.
Hey, he had FBI stuff to do.
That's true. He's probably hunting down the bad guys. All right. Let's get to the weekly recap, wrap-up review for college football. I know I put a break in there, but let's not worry about that. Yeah, exactly. Let's pour through this because, oh, boy, this was a week for college football, folks. Ha-ha,
Illinois. You're like an FCS team. I'll start you off, Andrew.
Yeah, sure.
That's a quick hit.
Let's start off with that one for the quick hit. Yeah.
You don't need to say much on that. Illinois looks like an FCS school.
I've lost faith in Illinois at this point. Not so much in the offense, but the defense certainly has disappointed me. Mendoza looks like he's certainly the Heisman frontrunner, and that's obviously coming from the fact that John Mateer is now out with a hand injury. And Mendoza does have the qualities, I think, of being an NFL quarterback, but I wouldn't take him in the first round like some idiots are putting him in the NFL draft. I don't know where you're thinking that, but fine. He does play really well, and Kurt Cignetti is obviously a very good coach. We know that. He's worked with Nick Saban and so many others. We will see, though, if Indiana can still hold up their own. They've got a tough battle ahead of them nevertheless. But, yeah, it is a butt-whooping they put on Illinois. Meanwhile, Brett Bielema, Oh, boy, dude, you better find an offensive line quickly.
And you know what? I think you can move real quickly on to Oklahoma because you mentioned John Mateer. Where are you putting Oklahoma at now? Because them losing him, they could fall off quick.
You know, I will say this. He's going to one of the best hand surgeons in the country, so I would expect him. One of my friends said, I expect him to probably be back by the time for Texas, which I think would be crazy, but it wouldn't be out of the realm to say, hey, you know what? If you're going to hold him out and be like, he may not start till Texas, and then be like, bam, he's starting at Texas.
He's starting for Texas.
Get that Red River
rivalry.
I was saying it in the car, Red River rivalry so many times, even though it's called the Red River Shootout, because obviously people can't get alliteration now, Pat. I still think Oklahoma's in the fight. It's just not going to look the same, obviously, because this is your star. This is your quarterback.
This is like what we thought was going to happen if South Carolina doesn't have Lenora Sellers.
Yes.
Like there's just a step down. You might see a little step down from Oklahoma, although I think their defense might be able to hold them up a little bit more.
They've been stellar.
It's just tough because they play an SEC schedule.
If
they're in any other conference, losing John Mateer probably can hold themselves up in a defense.
Yes.
But you're playing in the SEC. That's where I'm at with it.
Absolutely. Well, and staying in Oklahoma, by the way, I don't know if anybody knows this, but there was a battle that happened between two teams in Oklahoma that happened to be between Tulsa University and Oklahoma State University. And after what has to maybe be one of his more embarrassing losses in his 21-year career, 19-12 was the final victory for Tulsa, Oklahoma State losing it. Mike Gundy has officially been fired as the head coach, which I will say this, it feels weird. You should have done it last year. This was a new coaching staff you just brought in.
This is a terrible way to take him out.
It's just it just feels wrong, disrespectful, and it just feels like you're missing out on just giving it one last run to the end of the season where you can kind of wash everything out. Instead, now you have to kind of force people into the position and go, well, we have to start looking for a new head coach next year and tell the coaching staff what? See you later? It all feels odd. It's so weirdly structured.
And yes, Oklahoma State have not had a very big successful run in the 21 years that he was there. But
They've actually been pretty good.
But they were pretty good. And Mike Gundy is the reason why Oklahoma State football changed.
Correct. The winningest coach in the program's history, mind you.
This is a legendary college football coach.
Correct.
And he just goes out because he loses and he gets kicked out midweek.
Yeah.
This is disrespectful.
Absolutely.
This is very disrespectful.
The man has All-Americans to his name, first-round draft picks to his name. He's countless players going to the NFL, right?
Player, coach, great defensive guy, knows what he's doing at the college level.
They've been ranked in the top 10 4 different times, highest ranking being 4, I believe it was.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, that was the Brandon Weed. Holy. That was that group. But they were fantastic. They were great. They were awesome. They almost played for the national championship. How crazy is that? But it just feels like a weird way for him to go out. If you're asking, by the way, too, who replaces him, I'd put the bet on Zach Robinson. It feels like Oklahoma quarterback goes back home, goes back to his alma mater. Same dance, here we go again. And he's a proven commodity, too, as an offensive mind, I think. He's just bad at Atlanta because Atlanta's bad.
This is just disrespectful. Honestly,
yeah,
when I saw that, I was like,
"This is a bad look for Oklahoma State."
This is a bad look for Oklahoma State.
As if their recruiting isn't bad enough, this is a bad look for them across the board.
Because you know what? Imagine Iowa. Imagine Iowa firing their head coach midweek like this. Iowa's had some bad losses.
They would have riots.
But that man is a legend.
Yeah.
Imagine the downfall of Georgia and Kirby Smart gets fired midweek.
Oh, Atlanta would burn again.
That's what
Athens
we're talking
would go
about.
To the ground.
We're talking about these high-profile coaches who are legends for not only their program but also across college football. He just goes out midweek.
If you had heard that,
what is that?
Yeah, if you had heard that Alabama had fired Nick Saban mid-year, or I'd go even farther than that. And in this case,
Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's a perfect example. Imagine LSU didn't play good this year. They look awful. They're losing their first couple games. They're like 1-3 to begin the year, and they go, Brian Kelly's not the guy. That's what you're looking at here.
Although there's a part of my brain that's going, don't really hate it too much.
No, but still, he's a legend, though. You don't do that. That's the thing.
Well, I was going to say, imagine if Alabama, way back in the day, had fired Bear Bryant halfway through the year or with 3 games. Tuscaloosa would not exist.
Yeah.
They would destroy that town.
Here.
That's how impactful that would be. That's how big it is. Outside of that, though, is Texas Tech for real? It's possible because they put a butt whooping on a very good Utah team. I was thoroughly impressed. This was with a backup quarterback, too, mind you. I don't know if they can maintain this kind of play throughout the rest of the year.
This is why I love the Big 12, though, this year.
It's impressive, though.
It's impressive.
It is making things very interesting, considering, too, we've got a hell of a matchup coming up that could be a determining factor in this for this week, and we'll get there for the Pick 6. Big 12 is looking very fun.
We said at the beginning of the year. We said at the beginning of the year. When we went through your list of all the teams, we said the Big 12 is going to be the most entertaining conference this year.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm an SEC guy, and I love watching the Big 12 right now.
Oh, it's so much. And here's the thing.
It's
Utah's
so much
not
fun.
even out of it.
No, Utah's not
crazy.
out of it.
They lost, and you're still going, yeah, but it's only their first loss.
It was only their first loss, and yes, was it a bad loss? Yes. It was a very bad loss for Utah, but you know that they can quickly bring it back up. Because they have the offensive weapons, and they have a good defense. It's just a bad game.
Yeah, and they matched up against a team that it shocks me how good they really looked. Again, with a backup quarterback. Also, too, by the way, God, they've got a lot of money. Oh, it pays to have oil barons, I tell you. It does. Outside of that, give it to Nebraska, I think, on this one. They have arguably the best quarterback, maybe. I'm saying arguably the best quarterback in the Big Ten. I know they lost to Michigan.
Yeah.
But Dylan Raiola.
This season, playing-wise, I can get there.
It's showing why he was the #1 quarterback in the country, why he was one of the top prospects. I believe it was the top prospect in the country at one point, too. This is showing why this kid is going to have a legitimate NFL shot. Like, everything about this kid speaks to the next level. And again, I know the interception was bad. I know Michigan played to their strength, right? Run the football. Bryce Underwood didn't look fantastic in this game, certainly. But even still, I don't believe in moral victories. Call it a moral victory for Nebraska. They're not out of this yet in the Big Ten.
No.
Michigan, I think, however, is going to find itself hitting a few bumps in the road.
I said last week, what did I say about this game? I said you're going to find out a lot about Michigan here, if they're actually contenders in the Big Ten, or if they're not. And that game did not really impress me. They got the win, but it was not impressing.
No, it wasn't.
There's a level to Michigan now.
Like you said.
They can beat a team like Nebraska.
Yeah.
But I think once they get to a point where, honestly, I think if they play a team like Indiana, that's not a favorable matchup.
No, it could be a difficult one.
Even how bad they played, I'd actually still be nervous about a team like Illinois.
Yeah, seriously. A control-the-clock type of team could really run you down. Arkansas, unfortunately, had a chance to be able to seal its victory.
Bro.
For some reason, really saw Memphis come back into the game. And Memphis, shocking the world, winning it by 32-31. Is this the end of Pittman as the head coach at Arkansas?
No.
Not necessarily. By the end of the season, though, could be.
Yeah, it could be. They would still need to fall off a little bit more, I think.
Absolutely.
It's a bad loss, but again, you were right there.
Yeah.
And, it's not like this Arkansas team is also going 1-4 right now.
No.
They were ranked going into that game, I believe, right?
Correct.
So it's not like they're a terrible team on the back end.
Right.
Florida. But, it's not like they're on that level.
Right. Well, and give it to Memphis too, right? They are a 4-0 team for a reason. And they also, by the way, they had 2 players go for 100 yards in this game, one of them being their quarterback.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So keep that in mind. they found a groove to their offense, and they made it work. By the way, even though he threw 2 interceptions, Taylon Green is super impressive.
He is.
He's super.
I would say for college.
At least,
I don't know if his
college.
game translates well.
I don't know if he can. Listen, as a pro quarterback, I think he's got some stuff. I wouldn't take him in the first round, but the arm's there, the accuracy's there, and the foot and the speed in which he can play with is there too. He's like an offset version of Vince Young or Cam Newton. Like I would say that.
I don't know. I'm not high on him as NFL wise, college wise.
College wise, he can get it done.
He can get it done. He could be a great quarterback in college.
He can. Other teams outside of that. Okay. Time to talk, Clemson. Time to talk. The microscope is now on Dabo. That does not mean he's getting fired, but that does mean that board of directors, that athletic director, everybody is now looking at him to deliver something off of a season where they are now sitting at 1-3, their worst start in 21 years. Dabo, in my opinion, his biggest downfall, Saban has said it, every analyst under the roof of any building has said it, we said it last week. He either has to adapt to the new wave of how to do things in college football or go the way of the dinosaur. He has his option in front of him, but he refuses to acknowledge that this is how things get done. He made a statement once saying, our players that we recruit are better than anybody in the transfer portal. You just got beat by a team that was loaded with players from the transfer portal. You just got destroyed by them. Not beat, destroyed. They picked you apart piece by piece. Your quarterback almost threw his shoulder off to keep you in the game. 60 passes? That's like a pitcher throwing 200 pitches in a game.
And you still got embarrassed.
It is up to Dabo to turn this thing around now. It is embarrassing to watch this. I looked it up. Pre-NIL, before NIL became a thing, Clemson's getting consistently top 10 recruiting classes. Post-NIL, the best they've done, 11th. The worst they've been, 26th. That says it all. That says it. They don't have one 5-star, if I'm not mistaken, right now in their recruiting class, last I checked. I might be wrong, but I checked. I didn't see a single one. Why? Because they want to go get paid. And it's not that Dabo's not taking transfers. That Will Held kid, 13, that big tall dude they got on the edge, he is a transfer. But it's the fact that he seems so rejective of wanting to take these guys on. And I get it. Your group, Klubnik, Woods, Parker, Terrell, Miller, you name these guys, and they all could go to the NFL. And yet, why are you losing? Scotty.
No, I'm dude.
Oh, okay.
You got it, bro.
Okay,
you got it.
I don't.
This
think
is all you. This was you had to convince me last week. I didn't see it, and now I see where you're at with it. I have nothing to say on this.
I don't.
This is all you. This is all you. Because you said it last week. I didn't believe in you, and I wasn't convinced by you either. And then they go out and get him. They got embarrassed. They tried to make it closer. They still got embarrassed.
It is do or die time now for Clemson as a program. Again, I do not think he will get fired. I don't even think he should get fired because he is still one of the top coaches in college football. But it is time for him to pick the position that he wants to be. If you want to continue to be Mr. Old School, be prepared for more of this. If you finally want to shift over to the new school, Clemson, I think, will be back within maybe 2 years, maybe even less. But it's up to him now to embrace. Who do you want to be? Who do you want this program to become? How do you want them to remember you? We will remember you won 2 national championships in 3 years with 2 different quarterbacks, one of them being a freshman. We will remember that you made both of them first-round draft picks. We will remember all of the great players you've put in the NFL, you've put into college. We will remember that. Unfortunately, we will also remember then your downfall. If that is to be this, if this is your position, then we will remember this as well.
Andrew, do you want to run through baseball real quick, just because this is a big week in college football, and I'm looking at your honorable mentions, and
yeah, I know there's a lot of honorable mentions.
You actually have to talk about a lot of these games there, so
I'll just cruise through these really quickly. Colorado, stay with Caden Salter. Stop doing the shift.
Agreed.
You found your quarterback. The guy played really well.
Hey, didn't I tell you that week 1?
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe Deion Sanders will finally listen to that, along with maybe, what advice we said about his son. Bill, might be time to call it, dude. I hate to say this, but 34-9 against UCF is not good looking. That'd be Bill Belichick.
I didn't hear you say Bill. I just heard
I know. I know my voice is starting to go, and I'm getting a little.
Dude, the pictures of his girlfriend on the sideline are hilarious.
Yeah,
because they really give off. Can I have $20 to go get? Can I get $20 for the concessions?
Those were very good memes. I like those
every single time.
Stop starting Gio Lopez, for the love of God. I know you paid the kid $4 million, but Max Johnson's the starter for the. Come on. Bigger, stronger, SEC experience. And, oh, by the way, his dad played in the NFL. Brad Johnson, maybe just kind of give that kid a little bit more of a look. I don't know. Just a thought. I don't understand where anybody would say John Gruden should be a head coach for Florida. That would be insane. If this isn't experience enough, I don't know what it is. And, hey, TCU, they may be the best football team in the country when it's all said and done again. Will they lose by 66 to whatever it was against Georgia? I don't think so, but who knows? That's all I had to say for TCU. They're really good, by the way. Josh Hoover's a really good quarterback. Better than Max Duggan. I'm daring to say that. All right, that's going to do it for the weekly recap, wrap-up review. Again, if you guys had any questions on that stuff, I don't want to hear it, honestly. I don't care about your team. I'm just kidding.
Nah, send it. I'll reply to email so Andrew doesn't get mad.
There you go. All right, let's do it. Pick 6, ladies and gentlemen. Scotty, let's get them up on the board. First one I got up, because, again, we got a lot of these to rip through. Yeah, let's do the honorable mentions first. All right,
dude,
real quick.
USC, Illinois. This is weird. Because it shouldn't be a big game.
It shouldn't be, but it is the big noon kickoff. I think USC's going to.
I hope they do.
I think they're just going to do it.
Notre Dame, please take care of Arkansas, but they're on upset alert. And because we talked about Taylor Green already.
I'm going to ask you just one real quick question. We could talk about this for an hour, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Just real quick, give your answer. I'll give mine. Had Marcus Freeman not made the national championship game last year,
he's on He's on hot seat.
Okay,
but the thing is the thing that's different about him.
Game, I know, but I just wanted to ask that because somebody asked me that in a question, and I went,
no, that's a great what if.
I never thought of that.
That's a great what if. My only thing with him, though, is he is such a good player's coach.
He is. He very much is.
That helps keep the seat cold.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that is important in college.
Oh, of course. I thought about it, and I went, yeah, you've never beat your alma mater. You're 0-3 against Ohio State. You lost to Marshall. You've lost to Northern Illinois. You lost to Louisville, teams that you should have beat for sure. Yeah, I can kind of see where if he doesn't make the national title last year, he's probably on the hot seat in year 4 here for Notre Dame.
But this is a tough game because Arkansas is coming back with a vengeance. So
yeah, that's true. This is a good quarterback.
Yes. Louisville Pitt. What's with this one on there?
I just thought it might be competitive.
Probably because of the game last week, yeah.
It's Pitt. They're trying to see if they can get themselves ranked. Louisville wants to prove that they're a top team, too. They got a hell of a running back, I got to say, Louisville. And Holstein, good move not staying at Alabama. Good job, bud. Just saying.
Hey, Auburn, Texas A&M, low-key.
I was thinking about putting them on the list.
Texas A&M might have trouble with it.
Might.
They might.
This is going to be a weird game because I
This
feel
is
like
a
this could be like
sneaky
the
one.
This
could be a game where we come in next week and go, Texas A&M just completely handled it. Why do we ever question it? Or we go, you're right to question Texas A&M on this one.
True. I also think this should also be the game where we go, oh, there's 400 rushing yards by both quarterbacks. Hey, Jackson Dart is like, I can't throw, but hey, look at me run. And Marcel Reed's like, I'm not accurate, but hey, look at me run. It's just, it's like triple option football all over again. 1920s football. There you go.
It's Iowa football. We don't gotta talk about that. They thought they had a quarterback.
I just put it on here because I'm like, I forget they're undefeated. Like, I completely.
Because they really.
Gradowski, dude, you're disappointing me. Like, dude, I love you, man.
Do you want to know why I love Iowa?
I've had such good conversations with this kid. He is such a cool guy, and he made such a bad move, dude.
Dude.
Oh, my God.
This is why I love Iowa football.
Oh, my God.
You asked me why I'm a fan of Iowa football.
I get
this
it.
is why.
Kirk Ferentz is a god in Iowa City. Holy cow.
Crazy. This is why I love Iowa football. Because
Holy
it's just,
cow.
It's like the Steelers. It shouldn't work. But
You know what? That is exactly what it is. From color scheme right down to
the helmet being.
Yeah, right down to somehow we're going to find a way to win. And sure enough, that's going to be enough to keep Kirk's job. And I'm not saying he should be fired, but like it just, what is enough? My God.
Tennessee should handle that game against Mississippi State.
I'm going to say Mississippi State could make this a fight, though.
Okay.
Shapen is not a bad quarterback.
It's fair.
He could make this a shootout, but Aguilar is just like on that, like, look at me go. Like
I think you're going to be on the same pace with Iowa State, Arizona. Like Iowa State should control that, but I do agree with you. Maybe Arizona could hold it.
They played really well.
Yeah.
I give Arizona. They have found their groove finally, and this could be like a good back and forth for them for sure. Yeah, and for the NFL, I put in there as well. Minnesota and Pittsburgh could be a good game depending on how Carson Wentz plays.
So
yeah.
All games across are a little different.
Yeah. It kind of just depends. And then I put Indianapolis against the Rams. I wonder how Daniel Jones is going to do in there. If he keeps playing the way he's playing.
Indiana Jones in the quest of a playoff berth. Make the movie.
You know what? I saw somebody post that on Twitter. I almost went with this as a story to talk about for the NFL, just because I really wanted to put that through AI and just see if it could do it. I still might do it anyways. I don't know. We'll see.
Just post the picture on Twitter.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I used up all my free time on ChatGPT. I'm not paying.
No, I think that's a day. I think you get time every day.
I know, but I used them all up already today.
Oh, well, that's your fault.
I know. Listen, it's really hard to get those pictures out the way you want them to. Okay.
It is. TCU,
yes.
ASU.
TCU, Arizona State. The spread right now is at 3.5, favoring Arizona State. The over-under is at 54.5. Scotty, where you going, man?
Close game. I think Arizona State covers, but I'm going to take TCU. I think this could be like ASU has the ball on a final drive and turnover on downs, down by 3.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that type of deal where they miss a pass or something like that. Not like just something like that. That's how I see this game ending. I actually kind of like the under here.
Yeah, man.
I'm just not wowed by Arizona State's offense.
That's the problem, is that outside of Jordan Tyson, there isn't a lot that can really, because the problem is they don't have the bread and butter back anymore to feed the ball to, which opens up their passing game for Levitt, because the play action was where it really was working for him. You take that away now, you know kind of where the ball's going, right? So now it's easy to, you're doubling man on Tyson, you're getting the sack on Levitt. I like TCU to possibly blow this one out, like maybe by 2 touchdowns.
I don't. I think it'll be close.
I'll say 2 touchdowns. I'll go with the blowout. Yeah, I'll say 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
I like the way Hoover's playing.
I might hit the odds on that because those odds are probably nuts.
Probably. I would.
TCU 13.5 is probably nuts.
I'm sure it is. I look at TCU, man, and I just think, man, God, their offense is just on fire, and their defense is doing a pretty decent job too. They're not fantastic, but this is kind of a 1-2 punch on offense, and after that, it's kind of a lot of mediocrity with Arizona State. So I will give a 2-touchdown favorite to TCU. I'll play the under as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if Arizona State can deliver the way that they're supposed to. All right, next game. Oh, God. LSU, number 4, taking on 13, Ole Miss.
Andrew, I'm not going to make it any better on you.
That's fine. Mississippi is favored by 1.5. The over-under is at 57.5. Scotty, go.
I'm taking the over.
Okay. It's fair.
I'm taking Mississippi to win by a game-winning field goal.
Okay. That's fair.
And you know what, though? I think you'll come out of it not saying LSU is a bad team.
Sure.
Like, I think this is a game where they are still over, but it's like that's just a loss.
Yeah.
I think it's a competitive game. That's why I have the over. But I just think this might be a game where it does come down to who's got the ball at the end. And I think it's going to be Ole Miss, and they'll kick a field goal.
I like that. I'll take LSU. Homer. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You're not even a homer.
I'm not even from Louisiana, so I didn't even go to the school.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, for those who don't know, if you're wondering why LSU, I liked the colors. Truly, I did. And honestly, I've been to Louisiana plenty of times. It's a wonderful place. Baton Rouge is awesome. Just not at night, maybe. I love it nevertheless. I'll take LSU. I like the field goal, so I would take 3 points for LSU. I think it hits the under. I think this is a kid who's young. Starting Chambliss has shown stuff, but he's still young. It's, I believe, only his 3rd start now. So there's a lot of give and take here I have for Ole Miss. There's a lot of give and take here for Ole Miss. So I'll take LSU, take the under, and I'll take them by 3 points on that one. All right. I kind of went back and forth between this and Auburn and Texas A&M. I went with this because there's a lot of people pushing the Washington upset over Ohio State.
I think it's just because they're home.
That could be it. I mean, and that is a tough environment to play in. They do a good job selling out that stadium. OSU is favored 7.5. The over/under is only at 51.5. It's the lowest of these college games we're talking about. Scotty, where do you got it?
I think Oklahoma State or Ohio State.
I know it's same difference.
I agree with you. Like, it might be close, so that 7.5 does kind of scare me.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna take the under.
Okay.
So I agree with them putting it as the lowest one we're talking about. Washington's just not offensively. They don't wow me. It's the kind of their defense that holds me in for them.
Okay.
But Ohio State just has like probably one of the best defenses in the nation. I think I'd give Ohio State 10. I'd give them 10, I think.
I like that. I like DeMond Williams, the quarterback for Washington. Well, that's the thing, is their offense is very kind of basic. And listen, yeah, it is very basic. And well, if you look at it too, who's scoring all the touchdowns for this team? Their running back. Jonah Coleman has 9 touchdowns already.
True.
Just crazy to think. That kid could be something, by the way. There's a lot of James Conner in that boy from where I'm sitting at. But
shout out James Conner. Get well soon. Hopefully he actually returns.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that seems like an injury to me that he may not come back.
And at this point in his career,
a sad possibility.
It could be the end. Which, if that's the case, what a hell of a career for James Conner.
Life.
Life, yeah, really, life. And what he does afterwards probably will be just as equally impressive. But, yeah, I'll take Ohio State on this too. Sorry, Washington. I'll take Ohio State. I'll take the touchdown. I'll give it the 7. Yeah, keep it kind of close. I'll say this just hits the over. I'll just say it hits the over. Because where one excels with one part, the other one seems to excel past the other, right? That kind of thing. Washington runs the ball really well. Ohio State passes the ball really well. So there's some give and take here, honestly. And Jeremiah Smith is just a dude.
Hold on, I gotta fix something. So you go first for this next.
Okay. All right, next one we got, ladies and gentlemen. This is probably going to be the big game of the day for college football. Number 6 Oregon against number 3 Penn State. The over-under is at 53.5. Penn State is favored by 3.5. Scotty, where are you going, man? Oh, you need me to go? Okay. Gotcha. Okay. I knew I screwed something up, I'm sure. I'm going to go Oregon. I'm going to go Oregon on it. I am. Dante Moore really looks like he understands the everything about this offense. Yes, they haven't played anybody, but Penn State can say this. You can say the same thing for Penn State as well.
Dante Moore should be front runner for Heisman right now.
He should be. Absolutely, he should be.
Now with Mateer going down.
Yeah, the way that he's played is just insane. I put it on Twitter. Might be a stretch, and you can take it however you want. I see a lot of Caleb Williams in this kid.
I could see it.
There's a lot of it's the launch angle on the arm, it's the way the ball comes out, it's the accuracy, it's the footwork, the vision, it's the creative ability, and he's not really that athletic either. Right, but neither is Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is not the most athletic guy in the world, but they both have the ability to use their feet to extend plays and make things happen. I like Oregon's defense too. I maybe was wrong about DJ Uiagalelei, but Mateo has potential to be a first-round pick, right? And I like their defensive backs too. Thielemann is a thumper as a safety, and he's a ball hawk too. He's that dual threat guy that can both hit you and take the ball away. I like Oregon in this. It's not to say Penn State can't. It's just there's things that Oregon, I think, excels in that Penn State maybe doesn't have fully understood about themselves. And that primarily just has to do with their quarterback at Penn State, Drew Aller, is not playing great. And I think they just have to hammer their ground game to be the ones to be able to control this game and win it. So I'll say Oregon by 6. Oh, man. I know.
How are you going from 3.5 to 6 to Oregon? That's crazy.
I just get that feeling that Oregon will get a touchdown, but Penn State will just have that interception, and that's where the game just tilts the difference. And I'll say, oh, God, this is the tough one. Does it hit the over?
I think it does.
You know what? I will.
What? You got to trust Singleton to probably get like
that's
2 touchdowns.
The thing. Allen and Singleton, I think, can get in the end zone a couple of times.
There's like 3 touchdowns right there.
Yeah, exactly. And Aller could be good for 1, 2. It's just that's the difficult part is like if that Oregon defense starts stunting that running game.
Can I be honest?
That it could turn into a blowout almost.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Whiteout.
That's true too.
Penn State.
That's true too.
Just gonna run with that. Penn State whiteout.
Yeah.
Give me the over. Give me 3. I can't give them 3.5. So give me 2.5. I like 3.
Okay.
Just Penn State whiteout.
Drew Aller.
Freaking show up.
He's gonna have to.
Actually, like this might be a tough conversation next week. If we don't get that game out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if he doesn't play to par, that we could be having a very serious conversation. Maybe having to do with did they let the wrong quarterback go?
I don't think it's that. I think it's coaching.
Well, it's already been a conversation piece out there. The coach thing will definitely.
Because I trust Drew Aller's ability.
Sure.
But I think it's a little bit more of coaching.
Well, David
Why is he not taking the next step?
Yeah. David said it on Wednesday. He said Dan Lanning versus James Franklin. I think a lot of people would definitely trust Dan Lanning.
Yeah. Alabama, number 17.
Yeah.
Versus number 5, Georgia. Georgia, 2.5. 52.5.
Who you got, Scotty?
I don't know. Bama's quarterback's been playing better, but I still just don't trust him.
It's fair.
So I gotta go Georgia.
Okay.
I could see Georgia going as high as 10, but 2.5 is okay. Like I just really don't trust Alabama's quarterback.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fair.
Under.
Okay.
I think Alabama can only put up like 17 at the most in this game.
Okay. Interesting.
It's Georgia's defense, man.
That's true. Listen, I'm going with Georgia as well. They're just stacked to the teeth with talent, and they've got receivers now that are showing up. Now, I would protest to say that while I do think Gunnar Stockton's better than Carson Beck, I don't think he's necessarily better than Ty Simpson right now. But Ty Simpson and Alabama, I think, are pressing their luck against the fact that they played smaller opponents. Yes, and also, too, the lack of involvement from Ryan Williams in this offense is starting to become concerning. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact that Simpson's built a relationship with Jermaine Bernard over their time in practice, more so than Williams, who was clearly practicing more with Jalen Milroe. But it just seems like your top player is not getting involved, and that is something to really kind of be concerned with. I trust Kirby Smart. I trust future head coach of the Florida Gators, Glenn Schumann, to get the defense done. I think he's the right guy. I think he just makes the most sense to be Florida's head coach, which means they probably won't do it. Sorry.
Before we get into this last game, Ravens-Chiefs, because you didn't even put it on the honorable mentions.
I was going to put it on there,
but that is a game to actually mention.
Yeah, I was going to put it on there, but I just wasn't. I don't know what Chiefs team was going to show up.
Worthy's probably playing, though, so
that's the thing. Now that change. Worthy, that's the one thing that was killing me is he going to play? Now that he is playing, yes, that is a game now to mention. For what that is, I still think the Chiefs come out of it with a W.
Oh,
I know.
No.
I know. They have found a way to beat the Ravens consistently.
But here's my thing. The Ravens have lost games putting up 45 and 30. The Chiefs have not put up 30 this year.
Right. No, that's
where
fair.
I'm at with it. And they've done it against some good defenses.
Yeah.
They did it against the Bills defense with Matt Milano in there.
Right.
They did it up against the Lions. I trust that way more than whatever the Chiefs are putting out.
Yeah. Well, that's fair.
And with that being said, the Chiefs will win. No, I'm kidding. That is the logic, though. Like, no matter what, the Chiefs will win. But actually, I am just going to take the Ravens on this one.
For me, I'm really starting to think Andy Reid versus John Harbaugh. I used to think that was an equal matchup.
No, man, no.
I think John Harbaugh is just...
No, don't.
I don't want to go that way.
You're talking about a Super Bowl winning coach,
Listen,
bro.
He's going to probably punch his ticket to the Hall of Fame. But I'm really starting to have my concerns about his defensive prowess. That's where he's supposed to be excelling. I know, but the defense has looked messy.
I'm not even a fan. I just don't want you to go there with that because Harbaugh's so respected.
No, I'm not trying to disrespect him. By the way, I'm taking Georgia by at least 3. I would take the under, too, just for that game. Sorry. All right, let's go to the last one.
Eagles,
Tampa. Probably going to be the best game. Well, for all we know, it's probably going to be some schlup game that we don't even talk about for the NFL. But
Eagles
this should be the best game.
Eagles 3.5. Bucks 43.5. That over should hit.
Definitely. No,
see, I think the Eagles figured it out after last week.
They better because Saquon has not looked good.
Bro, I'd put Saquon on the trade block in my fantasy football league.
That's a statement.
Well, I have Josh Jacobs too. So and I'll get a top wide receiver for him.
You mean for fantasy?
Yeah, for fantasy.
Okay, you got to stress that because
I said I put him on the trade block. Not the Eagles should.
Yes, but when you say that, it could sound like you're saying
you're just deaf. You're just deaf, bro.
I'm old. What do you want from me? Scotty, what do you got, man?
I think I picked the Eagles this week, but I love the Buccaneers. I have such a soft spot for Baker. I
know.
love Baker
Everybody does.
so
Everybody
much.
loves the Baker resurgence.
I was on Baker, like, even when he went to Carolina, I was still rooting for Baker.
Okay.
I'm so torn. I think I picked the Eagles in my confidence pool, but I have zero confidence in that.
I'll go Eagles too.
No.
I just listen. The Tampa Bay Bucks are banged up.
No, they're not even that banged up. They just lost Mike Evans. That's it.
I know, but that is still like.
But
That's a
Ibuka's
piece.
so good.
I know he's been good, but what do you think's gonna happen in this game? They're gonna double up on him. They're gonna force Tampa Bay to try and establish the run. They're gonna stuff him on the run with their tackles. And this is where Baker's going to start to try and force throws, and that's where he's going to start to make mistakes and throw interceptions.
You know, sometimes I hate it when you're right.
Come on, man. I've been doing this for a long time.
I know, but I just really want Baker to win,
every
bro.
team has done against Baker Mayfield from his time in Cleveland. You force that guy into a position where he's uncomfortable, starts to make things try to happen, and that's where he makes the mistakes. As it is obviously with any quarterback, but with him, it has always been very prominent.
I know. I just really want Baker to do good, man.
I understand. And he's still doing good.
He's my fantasy quarterback, man.
Listen, he has established himself as one of the best in the NFL. He is a franchise quarterback. He's a franchise-defined quarterback, though not defined, because that team around him is very good. It's fantastic, in fact, for him especially.
He's like Kirk Cousins.
Yes. But I just think that this is an Eagles team we've seen in the Super Bowl. They know exactly what to do to be able to get the best out of their team. They know exactly how to play this guy. This is nothing new to them. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll give Philly.
I could see him winning by 7.
I was going to give him a touchdown.
27-20.
I'll give Philly a touchdown. I'll definitely take the over on this for sure. This could blow the over out of the water. I think Philly, though, could definitely. And, yes, I expect a tush-push touchdown.
Hey, by the way,
Yeah.
tush-push is a fantastic play, and if they just refed it better, it should still be legal.
That's the thing.
You know what? I think there should just. You know what? I think I figured it out because here's. Obviously it's salt coming from Eagles fans.
Sure.
Like, because the Eagles are really the only team that run it perfectly. There's
Yeah.
other teams that can replicate it, but Josh Allen, they run it differently. Like, they don't run it the same way, obviously. Right. It really is just the Eagles built the team for that play.
Right.
And they coach their guys to do it.
Absolutely.
No other team is really succeeding with it.
Well,
as much as the Eagles.
Right, exactly.
As much as the Eagles. You know what I think it is? It's literally just no one else can figure out how they do it so well.
Well, I'll tell you probably how. And David pointed it out. What did Jordan Mailata do for so many years?
I know.
And now that Jason Kelsey's gone, where does Jalen Hurts love to throw his body? Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
I think it's literally just that. I think what they should do is make tush-push plays like booth review.
Yeah,
like they can,
absolutely.
Like they can not challenge, because then I think a lot of teams will lose their challenges.
Well, you got.
But like the NFL referees should maybe go to the have like their earpiece in and have like New York look at it.
Right. You
and
have
just be
to
like, was there a false start? Like,
yeah,
kind of like a VAR check for soccer.
No,
on goals.
You
I
need
think they
something.
should just do that with the tush push, because there's nothing about the play that is inherently legal.
Right.
That's making it different from other plays.
No, absolutely. It's not going to become an issue, I think, for anybody. And in my book, it won't become an issue until my greatest fear being, yes, of course I am.
We're yapping.
Until an offensive lineman or defensive lineman gets hurt, and that's my biggest concern, because it is a lot of force. And remember, rugby does this on a regular basis with no pads.
I love rugby. I
love rugby too. It's a fantastic sport.
I think if you do it like that, like a VAR check in soccer,
sure,
or like checking for offsides in hockey, something like that. I think you can make it like that and it'd be fun.
I'll be honest, though. I think we're coming to the end of it.
It'll get banned at the end of the year, sadly. It's the greatest play in football.
It's becoming a thing now where, from what I hear through the whispering of the grapevines, there's more and more upper staff that are now starting to go, this play is ridiculous. So there could be a force of vote for upper management and owners to start to say, yeah, it's time to go. So. But that's going to do it for the Pick 6. Obviously, let us know what you guys think. What are your guys' picks? Any of them that we didn't offer up, please let us know. Honorable mentions as well, too. Thank you guys so much for listening, and thank you guys so much for watching. As always, we appreciate you guys being the wonderful fans, because that's going to do it for our show. Obviously, if you just saw it, follow me on Instagram. I'm at Boom Crew Captain on Instagram, at DFluffyGuru on Twitter. Follow me on YouTube and Twitch as well. For if you guys want to catch the live show, that's youtube.com/XBombSports and twitch.tv/XBombSports as well. Follow us on all of our social media stuff as well, too, ladies and gentlemen. That's at XBombSports on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, TikTok. Frankie, if you can hear me, man, cut them clips while you're on the Raging Bulls. That's still a thing at Six Flags? I don't even know.
I don't know. I'm scared of roller coasters.
So am I, but I don't know. It's been a while since I've been to Six Flags. Make it happen! All right. And also, too, obviously, any of your questions, which we appreciate you guys who ask the questions, xbsportsofficial@gmail.com. As always, again, guys, thank you so much for all that good stuff. And, hey, by the way, too, if you had the opportunity, make sure you're going to go check out the boys who did their show previous to this. That's our boys at Bad Karma. That's Bad Karma Wrestling. It's our boy, usually, David Double D Dykstra, no gimmicks, Nick Johnson. But today we had Scotty Kiefer on with David Dykstra to talk about the wonderful week that was WrestlePalooza, as well as AEW All Out. Stupid ESPN. I'm not paying you $30 for nothing. Just wanted to get that out there. Cheap dime store hoods. Also, too, as well, check out the guys from Blow the Whistle. We're not going to be going today because, unfortunately, we do have graduation going on.
Unfortunately, we have graduation.
Yes, unfortunately, but congratulations to those students that, by the way, are graduating. Congratulations to you guys for getting through the program. I am a graduate. Scotty's a graduate, so we know exactly what's that like. It's a very wonderful sense of relief, as well as also, like, time to go get a job, folks. So, congratulations, though, to all the wonderful students out there that are able to graduate today. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all so much for watching. I have no voice left, so I'm going to get out of here and probably go swallow as much salt water as there is possible.
Pause.
Shut up. We will see you guys next Friday for another fantastic show. And as always, much love. Peace out, Boom Crew.